There's some movies out there, really, really good movies. And it used to be that movies would tell a story. And those stories were the new framing of people sitting around and telling stories at the campfire or whatever that would convey a moral, a message of sorts, I guess you could say. Some were done for entertainment. Some were done for quips and laughs. Some were done as a warning. Now, we've heard people mention 1984, George Orwell, and stuff like that often. How many of you remember the vicarious vexations and vilification of a versatile, vexing villain? Yeah, I don't think any of you know where that's from. That's going to be my guess. If you do, leave it down in the comments. I will reward you with a like. And anyways, there was a movie that I am reminded of all too often, day by day, whenever I read the news, see the articles, watch who's defending what, and watching this world crumble before a virus. And in this movie, there is a villain who is willing to blow things up, quite literally, to get the message across. This particular villain was based in the UK. Actually, I believe it was just London, if I remember right, but it was still there. What was interesting about this particular story is that the situation that we're in is the same situation that they were in. Past tense. They had moved past it. The virus had spread. People were probably fine, but no one knew. Why? Because all the media would say is the doom and gloom about the current situation. But then we got a glimpse into the government and to see what they were doing. They were perfectly fine at keeping everything locked down, telling people what they can and can't do, can and can't say to control population spread of whatever. And if things got a little bit out of hand, they'd bring up the virus. They'd tell people it's spreading further. They'll tell people that it's going here and there, that more people have died. Despair is the right word. To spread despair, panic, fear, anxiety. And anybody that rebelled, fuck them. There was another movie that did something similar. Except this one, the utopia had come. Everything was happy. No one was swearing. Everyone was great. There was no violence. Except there was violence. Anyone that resisted was met with extreme violence. Incarceration. Of course, they brought back 2 legacy people from the old world. And it flipped everything up on its head. Getting back to the original story, V for Vendetta, if you hadn't guessed it, is the movie I'm referring to. They had a virus that spread across Europe and the UK. So they locked things down as a precaution. But then the government decided not to unlock things afterwards. They kept control. They kept their permissions. They kept their freedoms under lock and key. That is what's going on now. Is there risk for unlocking the world? Yes. Obvious risk. But at the sacrifice of what? Civil liberties? Freedom? All people seem to care and think about is these first world problems that they seem to complain about, that these people are that's all they want. A haircut. I want to go to the salon again. I want to go to the beach. I want the pubs. This is what they're telling everyone. Oh, these people, these protesters just want to go get a haircut. Just want to go do this. No. They don't want to be freeloading bitches on the government salary, getting full unemployment benefits plus $600. They don't want the $2,000 a month salary plus an extra $1,000 per kid or something like that per month for the end of the year. My question is, you socialist sons of bitches, what industry does the government own? They don't. They have no income. They have no revenue. They have nothing. So what are they giving? They're giving my money to people that don't want to work. Don't want to work. They'd rather be on unemployment plus $600 than go back to work. They don't want to try. They don't want to do anything. They'd rather live a blissfully, happily ever after life than do what they're supposed to do and try to make themselves better. But this movie keeps coming to my mind. Every single time I see a new article or new thing that comes out, because it's the future that these people are working for. To have the 1812 overture be played across the loudspeakers while he blows up Parliament in the middle of the night because no one's there. Acts of revolution. Wear a mask. All right. We'll all wear a mask. Now what? Who are you going to shoot? Stop us with government force. Great. You can't stop thousands with a few hundred. Unless, of course, you do what Canada is now doing. Banning weapons. If you disarm the populace, then you have complete control. Do you not? It happened in Venezuela. That's what happened to them. Think of the children message was what got people to give up their weapons. Children are dying. Well, in this case, don't go out, don't do anything. Don't expose yourself to the elements because you might get sick and die. You're afraid. I understand that. Everyone is. But are you so afraid that you're willing to give up your freedom? You want security over freedom? You want the government to tell you what to do? You want a nanny state? You want to give power to Trump? For all those leftists that hate Trump so badly, you're sure willing to give him the keys to the kingdom? Or do you simply think that somebody else is going to win? Biden is going to win. You're going to give a rapist, well, suspected, alleged rapist, the keys to the city. A man who did everything in his power to empower his fucked up son who was a cocaine addict, who couldn't get his life together. So he got him jobs that were billions with governments and agencies that were extremely corrupt. That's not what is going to happen. I have a feeling that this particular election is going to be in a landslide in one direction. Because the only states, the only governors that are locking everything down is the left ones. They're going to extend it. Why? Why? Instead of allowing hospitals and other facilities to improve their care, you're just going to lock everything down. Rather than improving the quality of life and the preservation thereof, your solution is to shut the world down instead. That's the solution. It's a piss poor solution. So verily I say unto thee, remember the 5th of November. But more importantly, remember V. That's all I got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, because YouTube is trash. And getting the message out and growth has turned to 0 thanks to them. Yeah. Until something better comes along, what else do we got, right? Or maybe Susan will lose her job. That would be great. Till next time.
Very soon, something really important will happen.